Bonjour and good evening everyone. Welcome to this second video of strategic analysis. I'm Crum, the French veteran, and today we're going to look at the role of making take choices into StarCraft 2. So the first question you will obviously like to consider is on the one hand, what is technological choices, and on the other hand, why is it a big deal to focus on technological choices? So obviously, you all know what this kind of thing is. Like, for instance, if you're playing Terran, you will always focus on getting your stim packs, then getting your shields, then getting your upgrades, then getting your medevacs. And this is the same kind of stuff for the other races. If you're playing Zerg, you want to get the upgrade for your Infestor, you want to get your Broodlords, your Ultralis, or Protoss, you want to take your Colossus, etc., etc. So you'll all agree that technological choice are the basis of the game. And your goal when you're playing StarCraft 2 is to get the best tech to face your opponent and to have the best options at end to be able to defeat your opponent, right? So the big question is when you're playing the game, like when I am allowed to get a better tech, when I have to focus more on my economy and create more drones, more command center, more archeries, and when do I have to focus on my army? Because we don't want to lose the game, obviously, so you want to have enough forces to deal with your opponent. So today's video is going to focus on when are you going to develop your tech, so to get a better tech, to attack stronger than your opponent, when you have to put your tech aside and focus more on your economy, and when you have to focus more on your army, and that's it, right? So the first thing I would like to consider when you focus on tech choices is what upgrades you would like to have. And I like to make this nice topology between survival upgrades on the one hand and optional upgrades on the other. You'll all agree, especially if you're Terran, that some upgrades are really useless and rubbish. Like, let's talk about the upgrade for auto turrets of the Raven. Obviously, no one is going to do this upgrade. And on the other end, some upgrades I really needed, like metabolic boost or stim packs, that kind of things, right? So optional upgrades are really part of the game, and every good gamer, like not even good gamer, every gamer know which upgrades are really needed in the game and which upgrades are not. So these are obvious facts. But if you consider some more tricky upgrades, and I'm thinking like, for instance, you +1/+1 or you tank siege upgrades, these can be survival upgrades. Like, for instance, if some roaches are going to attack you, you'll need you tank siege mode, especially if you're playing mech, otherwise you're going to be crushed. So this is survival, sorry. But on the other end, if your opponent is going for an early push, like an early mainly bust, and you don't have time to get your tech change, you have to stop your upgrade and get some aliens instead. So this is one example. Another example could be, okay, so do I need to get my stim pack right now? But if I'm getting my stim pack, I will delay my gas, and perhaps I want to build something else. And Zergs are definitely confronted with that kind of choice, like when we decide to delay their gas, to do more drone, to do more queen, and to reinforce their economy. So this problem exactly is what I was referring to, the arbitration between the tech, the eco, and the army, because some upgrades are very valuable, like you need them right there, right now, and some others can wait. And what we're going to look with the free replays I've been selecting for you is how to do that kind of arbitration. But ultimately, what you want when you do tech choices is obviously getting a fucking technologic mighty army. And what I mean by that is you want tech choices to get an increasingly important amount of choices with you. And you know that when you're playing Zerg and you're on the late game and you have your Broodlord tech and your Ultra Risk tech, and when your brutal army gets crushed, you can switch to ultra risk and then get your opponent off guard. And this is why having the two technologic options is so valuable in late game. It allows you like to really get advantage over your opponent and get as many options as possible. And at the end, if you consider the late game, okay, so if I'm playing Terran, I want to have a beautiful army made of pure units, +3/+3, with a lot of medivacs and some siege tanks to crush my opponents. Or perhaps I'm a Protoss and I want a whole army made of 5 Colossus, a lot of High Templar, Charge Lords, why not Couriers and Voiders as well, and a mothership full of energy. And that's it. That's my ultimate army. That's my ultimate goal. So obviously, unless of course you are going to do a cheese or you're going to do some kind of all-in, you will focus on the late game, and therefore you will focus on a more technologic army, and you will focus on this goal, getting this beautiful, nice army. But of course, there are many obstacles to this goal, and the first obvious obstacle is your opponent, because your opponent is not going to let you just take as you want and just do whatever you like for like 25 minutes, no rush game. No, this is not going to happen. Your opponent is going to harass you at some point. He's going to put some pressure on you. Even if, of course, you might see some games, we can see some games where, for instance, there is a PvZ and none of the two players is going to attack each other, so the Zerg is just going for his Broodlord in first or Spinecrawler's army, and the Protoss is going for Maskers with Mars Archons and Motherships, and then the fight begins at 25 minutes. But like 90% of the time, it's not going to happen. Therefore, you have to react appropriately to make your tech choice a more valuable thing. So on the first replay, I've been selected, which is going to be a ZVZ versus Liquid Snut and I don't know this guy, SH Pact Craft. This is a replay from the Zota Cup. So I think ZVZ is something very good. Even every mirror matchup is very good to show you the importance of making good take choices. So at the beginning of the game, there is no very relevancy to adapt to what your opponent is doing. You're just having a goal in his mind. So for instance, Liquid Snut's goal is to getting a pool to be safe, so 14 pool, and then getting an archery to get more economy. So I'm going to pause the game right now to explain some things. So Batcraft, is cutting his opponent archery, and he's seeing that it's only halfway done. So little timing tip. So if you're Zerg, you build the archery first. So the archery first is going to fall on at 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and it's going to be 100 seconds to build. So if you overload arrive at 3 minutes and 20 seconds, the archery is supposed to be there, not there. So Batcraft at this stage of the game know that there is a pool which has been built first, and perhaps a gas. So therefore, he knows that his opponent is not going to aggress him, but is going to play safely, like with a pool at 14. And therefore, an early aggression, as he had planned, is not going to be very effective. Because if we consider Batcraft's build now, so he made a pool first, and then an early gas, and he is going to rush the speedling. So what Batcraft has in mind before the game started, well, I suppose, of course, he didn't tell me, but I imagine that he had in mind to do some kind of pressure in case of Liquid Snut going for archery first and then pool. In that case, with a lot of speedling, he would have been able to inflict some damage to Liquid Snut. But as you can see, because of this early pool, well, not that early, but like 14 pool, and then the gas is going to be after, Liquid Snut will probably be able to contain the bush. Therefore, Batcraft decides to go for a hatchery and then for a bending boss. So why is it important from a technologic point of view? If you're a Zerg and you're playing against another Zerg, You'll be like, okay, I want my army full of, I don't know, Mutalist or Roach, Infestor with +2/+2. So I want a beautiful army. But if I get crushed, I lost. So the first step was I wanted to know what my opponent was doing. Right. So I did check. So okay. So 14 pool, then archery. Reaction. So I can do either an aggression, but it was risky, as we said, because the pool is here. So you can go economic, that's what Packcraft do, and then technologic, so bending nest on the way, and probably layer after that. So the second step after knowing what your opponent is doing is my build adapted to what my opponent is doing? Pathcraft build was not that adapted because Liquid not will be able to counter the aggression with his 14 pool. Therefore, you have to transform your build in a certain way and build some baneling and build some archery as well. But of course, I might be wrong. Perhaps it was Pathcraft's intention to go for this aggression with Speedling. But in my opinion, it's kind of a comfortable choice because he preferred to take, knowing that there is no aggression possible to say the game. As you can see, there is a lot of coins which are built right now. Even if Backcraft is not aware of that, he might have an idea of this. And behind that, he decided to go for Evo Chamber, Roach, another gas, and probably Lair Tech behind that. So the thing is, he decided to go for an upgrade. So remember what I said about between survival upgrades and optional upgrades. So the upgrades on mirror matchups, the upgrades at Evo Chamber, Engine Bay, and Forge, are survival. Why? Because if you don't have your upgrades, if you're too late on your upgrades compared to your opponent, you're going to lose a game automatically. A +3/+3 versus a 0/0. No matter what have you done, you lose the game, you're going to lose. Well, not no matter, unless like you have 6 bases and your opponent's on wide bases, but it's like very hypothetical. Most of the time, you're going to lose. So these are survival upgrades. Now you have to build them at the right time. If I build them now, as you can see, I might be susceptible to take some damage from my opponent. And as you can see, Liquid Snot decided to go from some kind of pressure with this baneling. And Pathcraft, to be safe with his technologic choices, decided to make some banelings as well. So we have a little bit of baneling micro here. Not a big deal. So okay, so this was a little aggression from Liquidness. It's nothing really important. The important thing, however, is that he scouted the Roach, he scouted the baneling. So Liquid Snot knows that Pathcraft has already his Roach tech developed. If we consider the scouting, okay, you don't see anything. You only see the Roach and the archery as well. So in reaction, he decided to go for this Evo Chamber and from this layer tech. And additionally, because he has 2 problems. The first problem is, okay, so my opponent has Roach, so I'm susceptible to suffer from aggression, but perhaps my opponent is doing some tech. I don't know. Might be possible. You're always in that kind of situation where you know you're going to be under pressure soon, because he doesn't have any Roach right now, so he's going to suffer some loss. So he has to build this Spine Crawler to be safe. But on the other end, perhaps he's getting behind on the deck as well. And this is the case. Like the level 1 carapace is almost done. When you're playing the ladder game, you don't have all these information, obviously. But this is always very important to consider that even if your opponent is not taking, you should always take to get an advantage later. This is why it's a survival upgrade. Like, he has to do this one, otherwise it's going to be late. And if his opponent is not going to do this upgrade, he's going to be ahead later in the game. So this is important. But at the same time, you want to tech. So this is survival thing. You have to tech, but because your opponent is going to aggress you, you know this, you have to build some defense as well. So you have to balance between doing defense and doing technology to take an advantage. So right now, Padcraft now is going for the aggression. We can see what the layer check is doing, and he has to make a lot of roaches. Now the upgrade is done, which is a very nice timing attack, and he's going to put some pressure with his roaches. So he's inflicted some damage, and unfortunately the attack is going to fail because Liquid Snot was prepared for this aggression. And now, as you can see, the push has been countered, and now Liquid Snot is ready to counter attack. And before, because he took an advantage, because he countered his opponent attack, he can allow himself to get another upgrade, Glial Reconstitution, which is another survival upgrade, because without the speed upgrade of the roach, you will be more slower, you won't be able to be as effective in your aggression pressure and in your fight as possible. And he's taking a third as well, because he knows that he's a little bit ahead, so he can afford this. On the other end, Padcraft, no, he has suffered some loss. His push has failed, thanks to Liquid Snot's good reaction, but he has to do this upgrade as well. Again, survival upgrades, you have to do this one. So now Padcraft is going to be on a defensive position. Liquid Snot is going to push with his roaches. And I would like to mention something very, very important. At the time of the push, a little bit behind, the upgrade, Glial Reconstitution, is not over. There is around 50 seconds late. Now if you go back, before Padcraft's first aggression with Roach, so okay, so we're going to move a little bit, blah 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 blah. So he's making queens, he's making his layer attack, he's making his defense, and there is the important part. So the layer attack is over now. We are on a 9-minute mark, and the Roach Warren is going to be over now. So 9:10, around 9:10-ish. He could start the upgrade now. He has the money for it. But you have to make choice when you take. If you make the Glial Reconstitution, you perhaps, you don't know, there is only 0, but perhaps there are more. You don't really know that. You don't know if your opponent is all in or not. If he go for his upgrade, he could suffer civil loss. So he made the choice to delay this upgrade as long as his opponent is pushing. So 14 roaches are coming, and only when the push has been countered, he starts the upgrade. Now remember, sorry, if you look at when he starts the upgrade, it's around 10 minutes. So the timing before he could have started and when he started is about 50 seconds, which was the exact timing when Liquid Snot did push Padcraft. In other words, if Padcraft didn't put any pressure at all, Liquid Snot, in addition of this aggression, would have had this upgrade done and would have had an even stronger advantage. So this little fact, which may be not very important, but actually it is, show that because you can make some pressure to delay your take of the opponent, and this can save your life. As you can see, Padcraft was able to do some nice hit and run and some nice counter to Liquid Snot aggression. So this allows him to live a little bit longer. Okay, so now we're on the second video, and we are on Ohana. And as you can see, the two opponents, Empire Happy and Arsenakyo, have been going for a very standard play. So Happy did go for CC first, and Nakyo for archery into a pool. So nothing special so far. And what I'd like to mention is, okay, so we are players. Imagine you are Empire Happy, and you have this goal in mind. Like, my goal is to get a nice global army. So what I'm going to do now is going to find the best way to reach this goal. So as you can see, Empire Happy is going to do a little bit of scouting, seeing that nothing is wrong. So he's going to play standard. because this is what you do. Like there is nothing special in front of you, so you're going to play standard. So you're going to play CC into Aliens Banshee, right? Because you want to do the most secure way to reach your goal. So the thing you would like to consider now is, okay, so Nakio is moving into Empire Happy Days, and he is seeing very standard things like two gas, the factory, the reactor. He's knowing that aliens and eventually Banshee are coming. So in a reaction, this is what we're concerned about. Having a good reaction, having a reaction about your technology. What technology choice are you going to do in reaction? Is taking two gas already, which indicates that is not going for a full macro style like with 3 archery, 6 screens, and a lot of drones. And is eventually, because he's seeing the support, is eventually going to do a technology choice which is going to give me an advantage against Alien Banshee. And this choice is going to be Roach. Because obviously Roach are a good counter to aliens, and they allow to get nice shots. So you may notice that at this timing, at 7-minute marks, Nakio is not going for archery. This choice is supported by the fact that he is going for a layer attack, and therefore that he wants to do some aggression onto bases with his roaches. Because this is a rational choice, because he knows that his opponent is going to have only aliens and banshees. His bio choice is going to be delay, if we suppose that Abby is going for bio. And by consequences, the roach aggression is going to be very strong. But we don't want to do a little push, like a violet push, for instance. We can be easily crushed by a good micro of aliens and banshees, and only with 7 of 8 roach. We want a stronger composition of roach, because we know that, like that, we're going to inflict very important damage. So Appy, with his 2 aliens, is going to scout. He's going to build a bunker, just in case, because he doesn't really know what's going on so far. Now he's seeing that there is no B3, which is very important choices. A very important thing, sorry. Because, like that, he knows that his opponent is doing a two bases strategy. Nakio, on the other hand, is putting himself safe against the Banshee. He's getting to Ever Chamber. He's getting a 3rd gas to get the upgrades, because he wants to do a very powerful push with a lot of roaches around 10-minute marks. Because now what I really like about Avi is, okay, I wanted to develop my tech and doing some Banshee. You have seen the Cloak, you have seen the Banshee in the way. And because I have seen the B2, he hasn't seen any B3. It's like, okay, so my tech choice is perhaps not as appropriate as I thought it would be versus the strategy of my opponent. This is a keyword, adaptation. Your tech choice always need to be adapted to what your opponent is doing. So instead, he's getting 2 racks, another CC, a macro CC, to get good to get an advantage on the income instead of the tech, and a Viking to delay the information for his opponent. This is a very good choice, because a Viking prevents your opponent from scouting, and therefore allows you to get into more risky tech choices. And to not being delay is getting all survival upgrades we are talking about, so +1/+1, same back. Now back to Nakio. So Nakio, because he saw the Banshee, he has no choice. This is a survival technology as well, getting 2 Overseer and the Lair. So the Lair also allows him to get Glide Reconstitution, so the speed upgrade for Roach, and eventually to get a +2/+2 later. So you'll notice that the strategy of Nakio is not a all-in, but it's something very powerful. We can crush the strategy of the opponent we saw earlier. So it's an army choice, and it's also a tech choice. Because like that, he can eventually get his +2/+2, and he's getting 3rd base just in case its push is failing. So this is not an all in all. This is the the better choice, you might say, to crush his opponent. So like that, he can at the same time secure the late game technologic choice with a lot of roaches, eventually a lot of infests, a lot of upgrades, that kind of things, and he can inflict strong damage to his opponent. Now, Happy realized a little bit too late, unfortunately, that his opponent is going for this restoration. We can say that he already built 2 bunker because he didn't really know what was going on, so always build bunker when you don't know what's going on. But his tech change technology, which has been noticed as half survival technology, half survival upgrade thing, is not complete. Before, Nerkio can come to Empire Happy bases, while the tech change technology is not finished. Therefore, he inflicts very strong damage and eventually going to kill his opponent. So you may say something such as, okay, so perhaps he should have delayed his upgrades, which aren't done yet, and perhaps he could have done the tech lab earlier. But to do that, you need to scout, which was the problem of Happy at the point of the game. He just scouted, but there were no B2 on the way. He knew that it could have been either Roach or Mutalisk or Violet Push, but he didn't know. He made the right choice to cut the Banshee, but he didn't make the choice to rush the siege tank instead of this upgrade. So it's always very difficult to interpret what your opponent is doing and what is the best reaction to R. So this was the lesson from this replay. So we're going to move on to the last replay, which is going to be a PvZ, and we're going to focus more on the ultimate goal we talked at the beginning of the video, and how we have to deal with the many obstacles we're going to meet. Good, so now we're on the final game. So it's going to be Liquid Snot versus Baby Knight. And as you may know, we have been looking at some kind of game which have been what I would call more adaptative technologic choice, which means the fact that the players were more reacting to what the other was doing. For instance, we had Podcraft who decided to go for this cross aggression, and therefore Liquid Snot asked to delay his upgrade and then go for the aggression, that kind of thing. So we are the players who are going for some kind of reactional choice instead of a background plan. And what I would like to emphasize with this last replay is more the idea that, okay, so I have this plan. I want to go to the late game. I don't want to do any cheese, any all-in, any, I don't know, proxies target, that kind of things. I just want to focus more on the late game aspect of the game with some kind of nice upgrade and nice Colossus for smaller ship, etc. So you may notice that the beginning of the game is quite standard, even if Baby Knight has been going for a gateway instead of Forge, and in reaction, Liquid Snot decided to do some zerglings, which is really a choice. Like, you can decide either, okay, so Baby Knight is going to expand, he's doing engage, but I don't care, I'm just going to play typical and going for this third archery and produce a lot of drones and dronings. Or you can think, as Liquid Snot did, that it's perhaps an opportunity to make some juggling and put some pressure on the Protoss to make him react and force him to use force fields and create chronoboost units, that kind of things. And you can even play more greedy in a sense of aggression, like you want to create the speedling, Baneling Nest, and going for a Baneling Bust to punish the Protoss. But here, what's important is Baby Knights. So he wants to play this macro EV style with a lot of gateway. And to secure his second choice of the late game, he has to take some measures. And the first measures you may see here is hallucination technology. So you may think that hallucination is the first technology he is going for, and there is no robot on the way. So to compensate the absence of robotic and the absence of whatever, he has to grab some intel with the hallucination. So when you plan to do late game, or when you plan to build this concept, this plan of a lot of technologic units with a lot of upgrades, you have to be sure that your opponent is not going to crush you. And so far, Baby Knight only knows that, okay, so Liquid Snot is going for a free base play, so he's more or less safe, but still he has to make a lot of sentry to be sure that something weird is going on, and to make this hallucination to ensure against any kind of aggression. And we may see that Liquid Snot is going for a little aggression, but is not all-in-ish. Because behind that you have the evolution chamber, the drone production is kept going, and metal boost is on the way, and the lair is on the way. So notice that the lair reaction is a response to the fact that the B3 of Benia has been set up, and Liquid Snot think about it as a, okay, so I have two choices. The Protoss is going on a free basis play. There is almost no opportunity for me to break with B3 because of the map. As you may see on Ontum Valley, it's very easy for the Protoss to defend both choke with a lot of force field, and as you can see, there is already a lot of sentry thanks to the gateway first instead of the forge first. It allows Baby Knight to have a lot of energy compared to a forge first. So as a response, Liquid Snot decide to drone more and to get more upgrade, which is a very appropriate answer. Of course, another answer would be to say, I don't care about this fucking cliff, and I don't care that it has made a lot of sentries. I'm just going to crush him with a lot of units. So Liquid Snot decide to take more in the infestation pit. During this time, Baby Knight has a feeling that he is more or less safe. He remember that he still has the scouting information, and he see that Liquid Snot is taking a 4 base and a 5 base. The problem for when your player wants to build this technologic plan, like Baby Knight right now, he wants to do some Colossus, then going for his motherships, is that you don't do any aggression at all. You just grab some information, right? And you know you're safe. So, because you're safe, you can build upgrades much more faster. Because you know that the Zerg is not going to attack you, because he's taking some echo, but you're not going to attack him as well. So, we are on the kind of weird situation. I'll talk at the beginning of the video. It's like no game, 10 minutes rush. Actually more a 20 minute rush. Because both decide to take a lot. But I think in that kind of situation, it favors more the Zerg than the Protoss, because the Zerg has more facilities to expand, thanks to the creep and to the mobility of the army. While for the Protoss, okay, you have the choke here and the choke here, but taking a 4th base is much more difficult, because you can be attacked from this side and this side as well. So it's much more risky. And more generally, if you decide to go for EV tech plan, as Baby Knight is doing, you have the Templar, Stargate, etc., you have less units, so it's more difficult to defend your bases. But what you can do, which is not that costly, that a lot of sentries and a lot of immortals, is to do prism arras. And instead of that, Baby Knight prefer to chrono boost his Colossus. And I would say that I would prefer for him to do 1 or 2 prism, or even another robo. It might be a possibility to increase production of Colossus, because he's safe on his free bases, so he can spend a lot of money on it. And to do some arras to prevent the Zerg to take the control of the game, which is a metaphor, of course. The Zerg is not controlling the game. It just implies the fact that the Zerg has a lot of bases, a lot of income. As you can see, the gas income is just incredible, and he can take without being worried. And now, because Baby Knight was able to secure his tech choice, he can now take a 4 base. So the Colossus upgrade has been finished. The Charge Lot upgrade is about to finish, and the Blink upgrade is finished, as well as the +3. So he can take this 4 base. As a reaction, Liquid Snot decide to attack. This choice may be good if Liquid Snot is confident enough about the strength of its forces. But it may also be bad, because remember that Liquid Snot is teching already, he hasn't finished his tech, he don't have any Broodlords, and if he loses this fight, he may lose all this army, so this army made of Infestor full of energies, and his bases are under a threat. That's why Liquid Snot hopefully did made a lot of Spinecrawler to delay the counterattack in case the push failed. So you can see this nice fight. So Liquid Snot is doing a two-front attack, and he's using his Infestor to attack him. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of micro issues here, but above all, I would like to emphasize that Baby Knight won this fight because of his upgrade, because of his tech. He got Archons, Colossus, and +3, and now he's doing some harass with the Priest. While on the other end, Liquid Snot should have waited for the greater Spire and for better upgrades to come before getting into this fight. I think I have done with this video, and with all the videos, we're going to jump to the conclusion. So I would like to give you a few final tips to think about the tech while playing with the free races. The first tip is a general tip, like always have a good scouting information to decide between tech economy. I think this is the core idea of this video. The fact that you always have to choose between I want to upgrade my tech to get an advantage, or I want to get ahead in economy to get another advantage, or I want to get a better army or an army at the size of my opponent to get another advantage. So you have to get an advantage in one of these three areas, and to know which choice is best, you have to scout, always know what your opponent is doing, and always do the right reaction. Second tip, be aware, be current in your tech, and always have a general idea of where you're going. This is the fact that I've been talking about in the third video. Baby Knight, he had this very precise idea of which composition he wanted. You can have the same kind of spirits when you play Zeg. You want your Blood Infestor, as Terran, you want your Bioball, or you make army +3/+3. And don't mess up, like don't do something such as, oh, I'm going to build the Colossus Bay, and then, oh, finally, no, I want Archon, I'm not going to make any Colossus. It's just a waste of money. So be current and always have a general idea of what's going. But also, do be aware that at some point of the game, your opponent is going to let you what you want. So know when to make sacrifices, know when you have to stop taking, and know when you have to get rid of your plan to survive and be safe in the game. And finally, know how to rank your priorities, and your priority number one is to win the game. So always make the right choices when you play StarCraft 2, and always make the right choices when you do technologic development. That's all for today. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I'm looking forward for more strategic analysis.